Greetings. Today on my workbench, I have the Festool PSC 420 cordless jigsaw. It's not a brand new model, much like many Festool tools, but the company is in no rush to release something new or updated. I will talk about the tool itself, not the included accessories, add-ons, and so on. A lot of this might not be entirely objective. I am not a fan of the Festool cult, and I will be speaking without any bias. I'll just call the sustainer a toolbox. Many of my complaints will start with the phrase, well, for that kind of money. Because today it costs as much as 3 of these jigsaws or 4 of these Makitas. Also brushless with lights and all the rest. And the second phrase will be, it's for curved cuts. So I will be speaking based on the tasks I've set for it. I'll note right away that I don't make furniture and haven't cut any laminated materials, so I have nothing to say about that. I've only worked with solid wood. Those interested in the specs can read for themselves what it's theoretically capable of on paper. I've put it to real work, and now explain why it's going up for sale. I'll discuss whether it's worth buying. Maybe it'll be useful to someone. Let's start looking at this unit. The build is naturally solid. Everything's good there. Well, there is a bit of rubber. Of course, they skimped on it a bit on top. What about the ergonomics? How does it sit in the hand? You have to hold it something like this. Well, for me, it's not very comfortable. Like this. If you grab it here with 2 fingers, well, that's also not great. I mean, if you're working, it's a 2-handed job. It's not exactly a brick, but compared to tools from other firms, it's mediocre. The head is designed in a silly way. Did they skimp on the rubber or what? I mean, it's not critical, but having worked with others, this is missing here. You have to plunge into the material like this. And if you just need to trim something, holding it with an underhand grip is uncomfortable. But what I do like about the ergonomics are the power buttons. Whether on the left or the right, it's very convenient to press. You don't need to adjust your grip. The pendulum action switch. What can I say about it? Well, it clicks. There are 4 positions in total. So past 0, you have that wiggle. I mean, it is a premium tool, after all. I can't say anything about the pendulum action because my cuts are always curved, so it's always off. Next is the slider for ejecting the blade. You push it forward, it pushes the chuck, and the blade pops out. How that works in practice is a separate topic. Or, to be precise, as it sometimes works, the blade inserts easily. You turn it slightly, and it clicks into place. Of all the ones I've come across, it's probably the most convenient. That is, it inserts and locks very smoothly without pressing, without any problems. What is the problem here? This electronic nonsense. It's supposed to always stop the shaft in the exact same position. But in practice, in my experience, it happens, well, maybe 60% of the time. Even the manual mentions this point. Well, turn it on, run it at idle. Maybe it will stop where it's supposed to. If it stops in the extended position, this slider moves past it and the blade won't come out. And it's not like on Bosch units, where you just pull a lever with your finger and it pops out. So you either have to reach in with your fingers to twist it, or push the shaft back in, and only then will the slider work. Premium quality is just oozing out of it. Representatives of this company constantly spin fairy tales that it has super electronics inside, that it can stop in another position, yet users have to deal with this crap. And just a reminder, I checked the stores. This thing costs about $700 to $800. Next is speed control. There are 6 settings here, 5 speeds and 1 automatic mode. I guess it wasn't made for me. As far as I'm concerned, it's total garbage. What can I say about the speeds overall? This super unit's minimum speed is twice as high as a normal jigsaw, meaning the minimum strokes per minute here is 1500, while other manufacturers are at 800 and some Bosch models are even at 500. So if you need to cut something quietly and carefully, this is not the tool for it. Now let's move on to why it was bought in the first place. What makes it different from everything else? A unique triple guides system for the saw blade. This carbide fork. What can I say? This thing does its job in principle, but it only makes sense with thick blades. That is, if we take a regular 1.5mm thick blade, whether it's PS or Milwaukee, you won't notice much difference compared to regular jigsaws. So you really need the branded blades for this, like this one for instance, which is 2mm thick. Or something shorter like Mayfel's double blades. Naturally, these blades cost an insane amount of money. I mean, for the price of a pack of 5 such blades, you could buy a cheap jigsaw on the market. So a Carvex jigsaw needs Carvex blades. And this system adds another catch. If you want to switch to a different type of blade, you won't be able to just do it easily. Be prepared to readjust this entire assembly every single time. We take the hex key, which, by the way, isn't attached to the jigsaw itself anywhere. We have to take it out of the carrying case. In other words, unlike other manufacturers who had the sense to tuck the hex key into the jigsaw's base, here we just unclip it. It's off, and we start setting it up. Actually, there's nothing complicated about it. I just take the blade, wrap it on both sides with a piece of paper, tighten it, and turn it back a quarter turn. And it all works perfectly. But you have to remember, if the assembly isn't tightened enough, the blade will wobble like in any cheap jigsaw. If you over-tighten it, the blade will instantly overheat, turn blue, and bend. So you have to be careful here. You can't just take any blade you want, shove it in, and expect it to work. The next thing I really like is the detachable base plate. You pull the lever, and the plate comes off. Why do I like this at all? And it clicks back on with just one motion. Why do I like this? When you work with softwoods, everything gets covered in sticky sawdust, and it's much easier to clean the tool when it's partially disassembled. You take it apart, clean everything, blow it out, put it back together, and stow it in the case. It's just beautiful. Right here is the spot for the dust extraction port. Again, what's good is that everything is nice and centered here. The dust extraction happens right from the cutting zone, so it doesn't stick out a foot to the side somewhere. Everything is neat here, and it unclips very easily. And this protective plastic cover Festool has an entire assortment for any material, and it's just as easy to put back on. What can I say about the base itself? It's made from some incredibly high-quality casting. The quality is simply stunning compared to stamped sheet metal. Just gorgeous. The lighting. What can you say about the lighting here? There are 3 options: light on, light off, and strobe. Supposedly, the blade appears to stand still. It's a very interesting feature. I didn't notice any difference at all. It just strains the eyes. I never understood what this strobe is for. If you turn the jigsaw during operation, the light turns off. Well, then we've taken a look. Now we can move on to the pros, cons, and nuances. Let's go through the pros. The triple guide system. It works more or less. It really does cut straighter than any other jigsaw, but only if you meet all the conditions, meaning the right blade and the mechanism tighten correctly. What else did I like? The quick release base. You need to clean everything, you unclip it, blow it all out, and put it in the case. Beautiful. And as another pro, we could include the fact that the light can be turned off. It never even crossed my mind, but some people really need that. It does drain the battery, after all, so I'll count it as a pro. And now, the con. The first thing for me, of course, is the lack of an automatic sawdust blower. It is simply not provided here. For me, this makes the logic of this tool essentially useless. Representatives of this company talk nonsense, claiming you can just connect a vacuum cleaner. So I'm being told that where a cable already bothers me, due to the rotations, I should also connect a vacuum hose. Very convenient. At some point, that is why I stopped using it. So I have a jigsaw sitting there that costs a ridiculous amount of money, which I don't want to use because while working, I have to blow the dust away myself or stand there huffing on it like an idiot. Meanwhile, other brands don't have this problem at all. On those, you can turn it on and off. The second reason why I'm getting rid of this machine is the completely unsuitable minimum stroke rate per minute. The speed here is insane. Even though, again, for curve cuts, high speed is not only unnecessary, it actually gets in the way. The blade starts to burn on the turns, wanders off, and everything goes wrong. Third, the problem with changing the blade due to this glitchy mechanism. No matter how much the company reps blather in various videos about super electronics or that it can stop in the wrong place, it's all rubbish. For a tool costing this much, it's a failure. Especially if the battery is a bit low, the rod will stop in the middle or end up fully extended. And they call this a professional premium segment tool. Also, regarding ergonomics, it's just uncomfortable for me, but to each their own. Nuances. The first detail to know before buying is that in the base configuration, the base plate doesn't tilt. I couldn't care less about that. I've done all sorts of woodworking and I've never had a need to saw at an angle with a jigsaw. I've always done bevel cuts with a circular saw. Doing that with a jigsaw, in my opinion, is stupid, funny, and uncomfortable. For me, a base plate at 90 degrees to the blade is the only position I need. But if you want to cut at an angle, be prepared to buy the tilting base separately. That's at least another $200. Next is the blade adjustment. You have to remember that every time you change a blade, you need a wrench, a tambourine, and off you go. Sometimes I was just too lazy to do it. I just grabbed a different jigsaw again. And one more nuance you need to keep in mind. Expensive tool, expensive accessories. It's better to use thick blades with it. Festool or Makita than this carbide guide makes sense. Because with standard jigsaw blades, even for curved cuts on thinner stock, you won't notice the difference. What's my conclusion? If you really need to make a straight cut with a jigsaw in something thin and laminated, this thing will probably work for you. If you're a member of the Festool fan club and you're already on this platform, you've got the charger and the batteries, then it's probably for you. What do you need to understand? You won't get anything supernatural or outstanding for that kind of money. I mean, if it costs the same as competitors, or hell, even a little more, like 50 to $100, then yeah. But for the price it costs now, in my opinion, it's just total garbage. I can definitely say that I wouldn't buy it a second time. I tried it and no miracle happened. A jigsaw wasn't a tool for precise straight cuts, and it still isn't. Got that off my chest. The information was all useful. I'm only glad. If you're a Festool fan and you're triggered, well, don't take it to heart. Make sure to inform me about it in the comments. That's all. Take care.